Miami. South Beach.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of History Time with Royal Hubba TV. In today's episode of History Time, we will be talking about our nation's 28th president, Woodrow Wilson. So, let's start with the basics. So, Woodrow Wilson was a politician that served 2 terms as our 28th U.S. president. Woodrow Wilson was born in the South on December 28, 1856. In his youth, his family moved around quite a bit. They lived in quite a few places, Virginia and Georgia, South Carolina. They moved all over, like, all the time. Looking back on it now, quite a few people think that Woodrow Wilson had dyslexia when he was a young child, but hey, who really knows, right? Eventually, he enrolled at the Davidson College in South Carolina, but shortly after that, he transferred to Princeton in 1875. Wilson then went on to study law at the University of Virginia and earned his PhD in political science and history at Johns Hopkins University. After that, he finally achieved his dream job and he became a professor at Princeton in 1890. He served as president from 1913 to 1921. He was big into women's rights too, which was kind of a big thing considering the fact that he was the president of the United States, because women's rights back then didn't exist at all and everyone thought that they were just non-existent, and hey, he was all for it. But then on August 18th, 1920, the 19th Amendment was eventually ratified by 2/3 majority of the states, so that was kind of a good thing. Woodrow Wilson proposed the 14 points as the basis for the Peace Treaty of Versailles, with the last point in the 14 points was the creation of the League of Nations to ensure world peace, which he was a big pusher for. Then, right after that comes July 26th, 1914, with the beginning of World War I. Woodrow Wilson declared America neutral. He didn't believe in fighting, he didn't want it to happen, so he said America was neutral. That then brings us to 1917, which, this is going to be a big shocker, but when Germany, what they did, they repeatedly ignored the U.S. neutrality and kept sinking American ships, because why not, right? Then his first term as presidency was up, and his campaign slogan for his second term was, "He kept us out of war." That was his big campaign slogan for running for president the second time for his second term. So not only was he our 28th president, who also served 2 terms, but eventually he was nominated as the Democratic presidential candidate on the New Freedom platform in 1912. Eventually, in 1920, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to attempt to join the League of Nations, for the U.S. to join the League of Nations. Now to get a little bit into Woodrow Wilson's personal life. So, he had 3 daughters, which was pretty nifty, and he married Ellen Louise Axons on June 24th, 1885, in Savannah, Georgia, and a lot of people didn't think he'd like her because she was kind of a smarty pants, and what a lot of people thought back then was that guys didn't like smart girls, but Woodrow Wilson liked her, so hey, what can I say? Then comes the affair. In 1907, Woodrow Wilson left her. Ellen, he left her. But I guess it was whatever, because like 7 years later she died of kidney failure, so yeah. But luckily, on December 18th, 1915, just 1 year after his past wife, Ellen, died from kidney failure, Woodrow Wilson remarried a woman named Edith because he was a bit of a playa. Woodrow Wilson was a playa. Then, on February 3rd, 1924, Woodrow Wilson died of a stroke and heart complications at the age of 67. Unfortunately, he never got to see world peace become a thing, but neither have we, so. Alright everybody, that is going to do it for this episode of History Time with Royal Hubba TV. We will see you in the next one.